Thank you for having me. This is
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Get into it, man. Tell us who you are and introduce yourself. Tell us how long you've been kayak fishing.
All right. My name's Josh Carvalho. Been kayak fishing for quite some time. I mean, I was really a saltwater guy. I did a lot of saltwater fishing prior to actually freshwater. Freshwater was more like, when you go camping with family, stuff like that. I
Yeah.
wasn't so big into it, but there was times where I wanted to get into certain areas of like Sody Pond and Cook, and I had to get a kayak. So I got a little sit in and, didn't have anything to record or just caught some good fish. It was fun. Then eventually, um, kind of got away from the saltwater and the fresh in general, but kind of wanted to go back and met up with a good friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time, Chris Nardi, for I don't know, since like '99,
Wow.
and he was the one that was already doing this. He was already an MAKB, and he introduced me to it. I remember, like you were going to ask, I think the first tournament I was in a sit-in. I don't recall which one it was. I think it was the one in Plymouth, and, like, when I got there, I just looking at everyone's kayaks, I'm like, "What in the world am I doing here?" Like, "Look at these guys." I mean, I don't know, I showed up at a Pinto and everyone's got a Cadillac, It was just it was insane. I don't even recall if I caught a fish. But I did do that one last event, and I think that was 2020, because 2021, I ended up buying my Bonafide, um, slightly used, and it was just, it was live in 2021. That was the first year I started with MAKB.
Nice. Yeah, go
Which was
back. So you talked about saltwater. Did you always grow up in Massachusetts? Is this your area?
yeah, born and raised here in Fall River. Unfortunately, can't get out. Well, I can, but I'm in the outskirts near Freetown. But yeah, we live on the water, man. I used to sling
Yeah.
eels all the time off Hicksbridge and Westport. I go to Newport in wee hours of the night, and I used to make my own jigs out of a number two Bic pencil, and that hook there, and just jig for my own squid. I'd pull up my own live squid off of the pier in Newport and just attach that live squid to a bait runner, my Shimano bait runner, and throw it out there and pull in those stripers. It was just a key point time in my life was always saltwater fishing. Like, did it all the time. Tidoggen,
Yeah,
I love Tidoggen.
I miss the days where you could walk on the docks. When I was a kid, I'd go down to Galilee and just walk and jig. I think that
Yeah.
was back in the '90s. You can't do that now. It's all blocked off, all
Yeah,
security, and
it's definitely much harder. But if you go some wee hours, if you go like 1 in the morning, especially if you're going for like squid or something, you get lucky out there for an hour or two before someone shows up.
yeah.
It tells you can't be there. I happen to live on Taunton River. I mean, I could jump on my quad and be at this point in about 6 minutes, and I
Wow.
catch tidog stripes out right out there as well, which is pretty cool. It's right behind my house.
Always did shore fishing for the saltwater.
Yeah, most of the time. I had a few friends that had a boat. I used to have a little Mercury, I think it was a bull rider or something like that. But boats are just, I don't know,
Yeah.
too much work.
So let's talk about MAKB closing. That if you that was your only group, like how did you feel when you heard that?
I was bothered. It kind of sucked. I was kind of really digging into those, making all the events, trying to do every single tournament, um, you know, to stay up there with all the pros we face. And it sucked. I mean, it's unfortunate, but everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it's everybody has a different story. It's everybody talks highly of it. There's no negative talk. People just they seem very grateful for the fact that they were a part of it, and like let's hope well not let's hope. Like I kind of feel like Ari's got the torch, kind of running with almost the same MAKB rules. They're not branched out as much. They're allowing two motors in it, so there's a slight difference, and the points and stuff like that is a little different than what MAKB was. But yeah, I mean, I was hurt. I kind of felt sad, but there's like a huge implosion with trails on it and Ari and all that, and like MABASS and Torrances and Ben's Tackle Shack. Like any of
But
those trails, like do you like any of those trails stand out that you might lean towards that one, or are you kind of just gonna say, hey, I'm just gonna fish across whichever one works for me?
probably whatever really works for me. I'm really probably more dialed into, Ari's. I don't mind Torrance's, kind of stinks without the forward facing sonar, but at the same time, we all started without it. So that doesn't really bother me. Ben's, I really want to try out, but again, with only like with the boats and only having, I think it's a 20-person limit. I just feel that he might have that many people in that group, and I don't want to take away from all the people that
Yeah.
actually fish that hard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're actually going to 25 this year. I think
All right.
they made
So
the
that
decision
opens
they're gonna
opens
add
the
5.
window.
Yeah. But you
And
said
then
the
they
same
and
thing. A lot of other people said is they feel bad. They wouldn't wanna encroach because a lot of
right.
people specifically feel that they don't wanna take a spot from somebody that's like
Right.
that's their consistent trail. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I get
exactly.
it.
Then the bass ones, I mean, they're just a little bit all over the place, which is okay, but with work and stuff, that's why it was like, much, much easier with just one schedule. You could look at one thing. When we had MAKB and it was just easier. Now it's like I have to have four posters up or I gotta load up the candle figure out which one works in my work schedule. Am I gonna have enough events in that to qualify for anything? So, I might have to just dumb it down to like two, as I mentioned, to actually have a chance to, progress though.
Yeah, but MA, I think one of the good things is if, people that are like they want to be active and they want to fish as many spots as possible, like you could potentially have two championships in the state because MABASS, I'm on the committee for it. Our championship is in the middle of August, and everybody else's is going to be late September, early October. So, I mean, the prospect of having two championships that you could qualify for in the state, that's, it's kind
Right.
of appealing. Like I don't know how much I'll fish ASS. I'll be involved in every aspect I can. But I do have a plan, and I'm hoping to fish all six of Ari's. I mean, at the very least, couple torrents, definitely a couple from MABASS, but that's probably going to be the limit of my tournaments this year. I do want to qualify for the Ari's championship. I think they already got the trophies, and they got great logos and everything, and it's Ari, and like Gerard and all. Like you can't help but not support those guys.
Yeah, well, the guys we all know, and thanks again to MAKB. But when getting on that group, and just met a bunch of really awesome people. Ari Gerard, I love his jigs, and meeting up with you in this podcast, and getting your ass kicked all the time by Continent and Brundle. Like those guys are just still great, regardless. They're just awesome fishermen, and you learn from them all. We all
Mhm.
learned stuff just either being out there with them, figuring out what they were doing after the tournament, and I don't know. It was a great run. It's too bad, but I did get to spend a good 5 years with that crew, and I'm sure we'll still see them around, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, John Ferreira put it perfectly. He said, it's like everything's in fractions, like you could go across the state and compete in one tournament and it would still kind of go towards the overall, but it was kind of people that were like interchanging back and forth. And now it's like you're gonna have people that are fishing this group and people that are fishing this group. It's kind
Right,
of fractioned off. We're all still
right.
here, but it'd be nice like maybe we could do one tournament at the end of the year where maybe we just do like 50, 60 people. We'll call it the state championship where all the
Yeah,
events throw all their best in and we do one. Well, maybe that's something that can bring
that's
everybody
cool.
together. But
That'd be pretty cool.
so you're very active, man. Like last year I kind of went out a little bit more and I tried to do other events and man, you're a familiar fun face at every event. I love it. And we met last year at the knockout where you kicked my ass at Saudi, but I was coming back at the end. I thought I was gonna
Yeah, no,
at
it was
least get
actually a tough fight
close.
that
But
morning. I did get a couple of early, and I thought I had it in the bag, and then you did creep up, man. I think you actually said you missed it, right? You dropped one at the end or near the
yeah,
end that could have actually took it. Yeah.
yeah, I lost.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I lost. It was the first time I was in Saudi with the new forward facing, and I probably lost 3 hours. I tried to stay on the left side. It was, I mean, it's Saudi. It was extremely windy that day.
Yeah.
Broken propeller pond. I tried to stay on the left hand side as much as possible, and I think my boat took more dings and scratches that day than it had up to that point in the entire time I've been on the boat. So, like I said, I really lost it, and then I had a couple spots I really wanted to try out, and they didn't produce. Then when I got to the calm side and I wasn't facing the elements that much and I could actually just go down and fish. All I did was, it was like speed fishing, right? So I had a
Yeah.
huge shore. I had like 2 hours left. All I did was just hit all the shady sides on every rock pile. That's it. I'd pump it into the shady side. If nothing hit, I'd keep moving. I mean, I was really trying that day. I mean, I'm glad you won, like I wish I would have won it, but hey, we met and, I think we became
Yeah.
pretty good friends
I
afterwards.
fished that in Cook Pond pretty hard over my years, and I do have some spots, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that do produce. And if
Yeah.
it's not, I just go to the other one, and I know I'll eventually catch up to. I even have some places down in timeline, like time during the day. I kind of know where they're gonna go because I've just done them consistently. But yeah, it could be really rough out there. There's rocks everywhere at Saudi.
Yeah. A lot of people say that's a
Great spot.
nighttime pond. I should go there at night, but I'm always leery about parking my shit overnight. All it takes is one person to complain. You come out, you got no vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm always worried about that. So let's talk about like you're consistent, you were active, man. Let's talk about some of your accomplishments. Like have you ever taken first place, obviously, second, third? Like let's talk
One
through some
time
of your
2024, take it back. I do love rivers, like yourself, and I think I did take the Sudsbury. I want to say it was maybe the North Division. We had just done it like 2 weeks prior, and again, I usually always roll out with Naughty. We kind of put in the same time, and we bullshit on the way out about normal stuff before we head out, and then we just break apart and we stop fishing. Right, he becomes an enemy at that time, or whatever you want to call it. Right, but the 2 weeks before, and I think it was for the West. Don't hold it to me. I don't know. He actually crushed it, and from the ramp we went left, and he crushed it. He had like 92, 93 inches, and still came in second place. So 2 weeks later was the same tournament, the same river, I should say, different group. And I decided, all right, I'm going to go the same route. I'm just going to do the same thing. He was successful that day, and I'm going to go. And I remember getting there that he changed his mind. If we had 10 guys there, 8 of them went right. And I think it was me and Greg Friggity, we went left. I did very well, man. I hit the same spots I hit the 2 weeks before. I was expecting Naughty to come around. He never came down that way. I was just honestly, it was wacky rigging, and I'm a big fan of a jig and a spinnerbait. And if you've been in Sudbury, there's like usually really, really huge grass lines um, up and down both sides because it was really much later in the year. I think it was a September tournament. And I did win it. I forget. I only didn't have a huge bag. It was like 89 or something like that. But it was really late into the year, like mid-September or something. Yeah, and that would have been my first win. I mean, there's been a couple times I came in second at South Watuppa last year, which is to me a very tough place. Even though I live here, I don't even fish it much because the boat traffic, it's huge and it's harder to dial in, and it's suicide if it's, you know, windy. It's just as bad as Saudi. Probably worse because it's 3 times bigger than Saudi, right?
yeah.
But I remember me and John Ferrero were like playing figure eights in this kind of one spot, and like he was going in there catch a fish, he'd go out, I go in there catch a fish. I wasn't following him, but we were in that where the wind was pushing into that, I believe would say the southeastern part of it. I'm not exactly sure. But I remember getting one like it was extended to like 2:30 because of some late start or whatever. And man, I finally got that fifth fish that jumped me from, I don't know, sixth to second.
Nice.
It was a huge jump with like a very small fish too, like maybe a 14-inch smallie or whatever it was. But I've done pretty good, and like I do like winter fishing. I've done very well. I think I won a couple of them throughout the years.
Cold water series.
Yeah, all the salt cold water series. I remember Ken taking me out at Tispican one time at the very end. I had a 20 that day on a Ned rig, and he somehow pulled up a 19 out of that bend where that rock is at the very end, and of course beat me. Brundle 2 beat me down into Buffett, another cold water series. The guy had a 20 like off the first 20 minutes into the tournament. It's like I was ready to leave. It's just the way it goes, man. It's like, the competitive part is what really makes it more interesting. And again, you're just fishing, right? Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I forgot who said it on your podcast, but if you just forget about everything else and just remember you're out there having fun
Yeah.
safely and just catch some fish, man, those numbers come to you eventually.
Yeah, even those big hammers you were talking about, like that consistently placed. I mean, they're still having fun when they do it, and they
Of
might be
course.
at the top. It might be competitive, but there's no love lost. Like it's always positive. They're not like waving it in your face. Like they're very gracious. It's amazing community, man. It's good to see those guys at the top kick our ass, but gives us something to look forward to.
Yeah, well, the best is when they're just a little below you. You don't want to rub it in or say anything, but it's just like, it just goes to show that having that fun with these creative people, it can be done, right?
Yeah.
But it is good. And they pick on you too when you do well. And you do get props from those guys when you do well, if you came in second or something. That's the best part about it. Because, at the end of the day, I mean, you can't say they're better than you because the only best person out there is yourself. So, but they know they do very well. And then when you do well, they're all over, giving you props for it. Like, Levy or Gerard, any of those guys, they would come over and say, hey, man, great job. What did you do? It's like, That's like one of the best feelings, regardless of where you place. But one of the best feelings is the acknowledgement that, you know, we're all great fishermen and we're all just out here having fun.
Yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, we're just fishing.
Yep.
Let's talk about your rig, man. You got the Bonafide. So, like, what do you run for electronics on it? What do you got for power? Specific rods or anything? Let's just give a little walkthrough of your rig.
So I have I believe it's a 2021 Bonafide S107. I do like the smaller one because I don't want a trailer. Don't get me wrong. I think a 12-footer would probably be better for me, but I do like the small ones to get it in and out of my truck. I even built like a wooden frame in my garage where I can just roll it out to my truck. I roll the kayak, pull the kayak right on it, and I roll it into my garage. It's just very convenient. I do
Mhm.
run the Lowrance FS9 with the Lowrance Active Target 2.
Like,
Both those units are running the amped small 19 amp hour batteries, so the batteries are separate. One's just for the unit and one's just for the sonar. I do have the Motor Guide XI3 on the front. Prior to, Ari having the what's it called? The sponsor, the Lifetime, I did purchase that battery back in 2020 or 21 when I first started. Because it was actually it was a different name before it became a Lifetime. It really was a different name. I don't remember, but I was doing a lot of research. And man, at the time, and not that I'm not unfortunate I couldn't buy the Dakota Lithium or anything, I just didn't see $1,000 investment in a battery just yet. Bad enough, you just you bought the XI and all the other stuff. So I ended up getting that Lifetime battery. It's 100 amp hour, and I've had it for 5 years, man. I have never had a problem,
awesome.
and I still use it. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much the kayak setup. I have what's it called? The Rail Blaza that actually, you hook up the pole to hook up for the transducer, which was, relatively inexpensive. The lights are of the Rail Blazer, as well as I had the front. I have the Audion Angel Guardian. I think poles.
Guardian.
I'm not picky, man. I break them. Like last year, I broke 6 poles, so I know they make some
6 in 1
badass.
year?
Yeah, 6 in 1 year. One's taking on a truck. One's getting hooked up on your shirt as you walk by. 'Cause I have two like laying on the side, and sometimes I did a knockout series against. I got his name, Jason. Jason, I think his name is Jason too, and different time and pulling that out and getting down this rocky spot. Of course, like I said, the two poles on the side just catch shit. And yeah, I had a tough year. I snapped one and a half setting a hook set. Um,
Oh,
eh, so I don't know. I'm not really keen on, buying expensive rods. I do like all Shimano reels. Like I'm
mhm.
all about the Shimanos. I've had Shimano bait runners when I saltwater fish. Like I am sold the Shimanos. I have a couple of Abus, but I would prefer a Shimano reel. Pole, like I really don't care. Yeah, I do have a couple of FX that Levy introduced me to. Those are the great poles. And I don't mind like on a wing, dude. I'll just stop at Dick's and get a 13 fish and I gotta go because I just needed an extra pole. Like I don't got time to wait
Yeah.
for shipment, all that stuff. But I do have some Shimano poles as well. And some loose stuff. I mean, like who doesn't have any? So
Yeah,
I'm not keen into my equipment so much. And it does show you that you don't really need the best stuff. You just need to be in the right place, right time,
for sure.
right jig,
Mhm.
right conditions, right lure. And you could do it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, do you
I do plan on investing on a couple of poles this year. It's just so many. I don't know what to do, And then, like I said, two, three, $400 for a pole. I have them. I'm fortunate to buy it, but it's just unfortunate the way I treat them, and then it's not worth it, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's pretty much my setup. It's been solid for me. Can't complain. Kayak's been great.
Do you think you have like, if you had to say a specific fishing style, like, what would you say your fishing style is?
Oh, I mean, I actually explained the style. I mean, more of a kind of like move slow and fish everything versus being stuck in one spot. I mean, even with the live scope, it kind of holds you up if you start seeing stuff and then you're like in that area for a little bit. That has came upon me having live scope, but I like to move. I like to maybe speed fish. I don't know how you want to, what's the word?
Yeah,
Or
search water, active water.
I rather just keep moving because they move. You know what I mean? They're not always in one spot all the time, which they can be, but I do kind of like want to see everything and know everything and learn everything at the same time. Because then the next time you're there, you'll remember, okay, there was a brush pile over there. Okay, there is rocks over there, right? So if you dial in on a tournament and you go to one focused area, it's your first time there, you're not really getting all that information of that lake or
Mhm.
pond if you stay in one secluded area.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, being
Uh,
so active, do you tend to pre-fish for events? Do you get any fun fishing in at least?
I do get some fun fishing, really. Like I said, Cook Pond is it's 9 minutes from my house. Um, Saudi's 10. So I do fun fishing. I do love getting up to Saudi as well. So especially because we don't ever it's not really a tournament place, there's no parking or whatnot, but
Yeah.
it's just a great fishery. I do. Free fishing, I mean, sometimes I tend to, but I feel like I do better on a new spot first time without pre-fishing. Every time I pre-fish a new spot, absolutely crush it, and then I don't do well in the tournament. I don't know why. Maybe because you pre-fish it and you thought those were the spots, and you go back there and it kind of, could ruin the day, or they're not there no more, or I don't know. I really love just going somewhere for the first time, no pre-fishing. I'll be
Mm,
honest, especially when we did like the Merrimack River last year. I think Nani took that one. I came in fourth, but man, that was just like so much fun, that river. I
yeah.
actually do like the Merrimack quite a bit. I think we did like
Championship.
was it, was it the championship? No, it was a regular trail. The one before we did a Merrimack regular tournament, I believe.
I think it was
Wasn't
on
the
the
championship.
northern or say he was on the
Yeah, that
north.
northern part, that was beautiful, man.
Mm.
We found a nice spot to put in, and it was just a great time.
Did you do the championship last year?
I did. I did.
How did you qualify? Was it through points? Well, no, because you said you took first,
I
right?
took, yeah, I took one. Yeah.
Okay.
I ended if I recall, I was 8th overall and 8th in the East, and I did win that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did
Always
get a
seem to be up
second.
there.
Yeah, I tend to. I mean, I do love to fish, and I
Mm.
can't say I've been every time I've been in the group, probably except for the first year, I've been in the top 12
Yeah.
consistently every year. But, those point spreads really change. I think last year, it might have been last year, or it was a 24. But I mean, I was riding first and second like all season. But once all the points actually get in, and you got John crushing like 5 of those tournaments, all those numbers change rapidly. But I did pretty good. Definitely love doing it. And one day I'll be up top.
Do you put any expectations on yourself, like, in the events or even in the championship last year? Like, is that a different sort of expectations?
I wouldn't say I put expectations, man. I just get out there and try to have fun. I know it's gonna happen. I know what to do and what time of year it is and what to throw, where you're going. It's just a matter of what you get. You could be right on the side of someone and you've done it. You've probably seen it. You could be 100 yards away from someone and they're pulling up a monster and you're pulling up a dink,
Yeah.
right? And you could be using the exact same thing. I don't know, right? So it is just it ain't really luck, but it is part of it, right? Really, really is just keep driving, keep thriving, I mean, to get it done?
Yeah, luck's there for the people that can win a one-off, but seems like there's always, like, 10 or 12 at the top, but, like, like I said to
Oh, yeah.
John, I was like, "John, I think you're the one of the top 10 in the state," and he's like, "Well, I don't know about top 10." He's like, "I would say I'm consistent." Alright, well, with consistency, right, like, that comes, like, respect and, like, a certain type of, like, elevation for angler, so but top 12 in every event in MAKB, man, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Like,
Yeah.
if you're top 25 at the end of the year in MAKB and you did at least 6, 8 events, I would say that, you're on the upper end of, like, the tournaments, the upper end of the competitive fishermen in the state. I think you're always up there. I always check certain names when we're at tournaments. You're one of them I check.
Yeah, and I'd like to participate as much as I can too. Like I loved it when we did Thursday nights, man. I love it 'cause I'd get out of work a little early just to go fishing. The winter ones, again, I actually do love the cold weather, except for this year. I mean, there was no fishing for me this year. I know a lot of guys do ice fishing. I'm not just keen on ice fishing.
Yeah.
To me, that's like land saltwater fishing. You're kind of just waiting for it.
Mm.
Uh, I'm not really interested in that. But into 23. And at the time we first got onto a little bit doing a KBF, and I know that went away. But doing the monthly KBF was kind of fun because MAKB's monthly was completely different. We only fish 1 week out of the month, and that's very hard for me when I have to work every day. So the KBF one was just a little bit easier for me because I can go at night, I can go on the weekends, I can go whenever I wanted to. And I took a couple of those for the monthly in Massachusetts. What I was getting at was we had like warmer winters. Man, I swear I did about 28 months in a row of I was on the water
Wow.
somewhere and consistently. I remember being out there my birthday and it was snowing, which was December 10th. It's still a good time. Still caught fish. It's different than middle of summer, but
Mhm.
it also only teaches you the grind. It teaches you more
Mhm.
of what they're doing, what to use, and where they actually stack up at that particular time of the year. Because when you get those, or if you do those tournaments, you could have a little slight advantage, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it always seems like certain people do well in the cold water, and it, like, boggles my mind. My first event ever was Weequahic in 2024, and going into the events, I promised myself I wouldn't look at the standings, like, right? I was just gonna focus on fishing. Well, it was me against the water, right? But when I
yep.
uploaded a fish, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, so we're like 3 hours into the event, and Matt Conant's sitting with, like, 93 inches already in. Huge rude awakening. I'm like, "Oh my god, I literally jumped right into the deep end." And then, the weather was insane. It was the only time I've ever been scared in a kayak. I thought I was gonna capsize, and it was coming down sideways. It was white caps. It was, it took me about 2 hours to come back in, and I kinda went at an angle because if I felt and I had to keep pedaling. If I didn't, I don't have a motor. If I didn't s
Right.
if I didn't keep pedaling and I stopped and I turned sideways, it was gonna capsize.
I feel you.
Yeah, it's just, some of these guys, it's a humbling experience, when you get on the water with them, you finally see how incredibly hard it is in all these seasons. And, it's just fishing, right? But kayak fishing's different. A lot
Oh
more
yeah.
going on you have to contend with, people don't understand. So it's definitely impressive for some of these guys.
Yeah, I've seen Matt out there in some, blistering winds, and he's literally still standing on his kayak and it's motorized. Like, I don't think I could do that. I mean, I need to be seated in those situations, but he's just got it down, man. He's standing out there, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's sit down. I'm sorry, I don't know if we can swear on this, but
Well, yeah, yeah.
it was yeah. Some guys just have that talent, man.
Matt's a beast, man. I'm fortunate enough he agreed to be on the podcast tomorrow night
Oh,
at 6, so it's gonna be released on,
nice.
Tuesday. I really wanna get some good questions in for him, but, yeah, he's kind of like the way like, I know he's friendly with a lot of people, but he's kinda like one of those mythical people for me, like the Bruce Levy, right? Like, I had seen his name and I'd read the books for years, and then I meet him one time on the water, and then he was on the podcast. It was like, that whole day, all I was, like, thinking about, like, I can't believe this guy's actually gonna be on, and I get to, like, not selfishly, well, maybe it is selfishly, like, I get to, like, just have a conversation about fishing, but the good
Yep.
thing is I can put it up and relive it, So I was very, very shocked when Matt said he was gonna come on, but, I mean, I'm fortunate. I've always been friendly with him, but never on that level, so one of the basic things I needed to know before I started tournament fishing was etiquette on the water. And I actually reached out to Ken. I was like, just tell me exactly what I can and I can't do, right? Like, I can read all the rules, but when I get out there and there's 35 guys on the water, like, how close can I get to them? How close can I get at? You ever, like, experience any drama on the water where people might have encroached on your spot, or like, where just there was an incident or something that was like, I wish that they would have handled that different, or maybe I wish I would have handled that different.
Well, nothing like out of the ordinary or wicked bad situation or anything like that. But I do remember one time I was at Nip Tucket. I think it was a Thursday night. I'd come around one of the bends around one of the islands, and somebody was measuring a fish. I don't even know who it was. And I literally, he wasn't even casting. He was like measuring, and I was still pretty far away. I always try to keep, even if I'm traveling, I just try to keep a casting distance.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know why I thought that should be the rule of thumb, but if I can cast and hit your boat or vice versa, then I think you're too close. There are smaller ponds though, where 25 guys in that situation doesn't always apply. But so I was just traveling by this guy, and he's like, back up. This is a tournament. Keep your distance. I don't even know who it was. I'm like, whatever. And I just buried along and didn't
Mhm.
really care because I wasn't going there anyway, buddy. I didn't give two shits to look at your fish or anything. I was just literally I didn't even know he had one other than his face was down. I mean, that was one situation. The other time for me, I mean, I remember, I can't think of the name of the lake. When people see you, I think it was a newer kid. I don't know the names again. But I was in one spot and I was hitting him, and he literally came over nearby, I don't know, to catch a fish too. Like, I get it, but you can't get that close. And he actually got so close. I had to tell him, like, dude, I was casting right where your kayak is. So you kind of just ruined it for me. And I left. I had to move along. I'm not gonna sit there and wait for him to move. That was like my only 2 experiences. I mean, other than that, people are very cool in the water,
Mm,
especially if you're like in rivers and stuff like that. Like you gotta go by. It kind of sucks,
yeah.
but you gotta get by them.
Yeah,
But
it's
no,
tough.
not too many deep encounters.
Yeah, New England waters, there's not room for much in these events that we fish in. It's either
Right, right,
it's either too small or it's like perfect size, like 6, 8,
right.
900. That's almost like a perfect size tournament for 25 people. Anything you looking forward to for this year? Like
No, man,
anything specific?
just to get out of the damn house. I mean, like I said, I doing that role of 26 months in a row and now mine in the cold water. It's just been torture.
Mm,
I can't wait to get out. I'm actually this month gonna check out certain ponds and docks and ramps. I don't even care if I just drive around out there. I just need to get
mm,
out there on the water.
yeah,
But we're gonna, it should be pretty soon. I know some events are early. I think April. I'm
sure.
not sure which one it is, but it's is it the Bass one or Ben's? Something's pretty soon.
Yeah, April
About 1
4th.
month.
Ben's Tackle Shack, Buffinville, but there's they're concerned about the ice, to be honest with you. I'm gonna have Ray on. He's gonna break down the Ben's Tackle Shack season, like John did with
Yep.
MABASS. So when I have him on, that might be the time that they announce that they're gonna postpone it, but we'll see. I mean, it's still a little too early, like we got some 40, it's gonna be 54 next Saturday. Whatever
Yeah,
resemblance of snow that we were supposed to get this week, it's all rain. So you never know. I mean, if things could speed up a little bit, we could get some open water. I've never been to Buffinville. Do you think you'll do that one, or like, do you know which?
I would like to try again. It being the first one and anxious to get out of get out of the house and get on the water. I
Yeah,
definitely would like to check it out. But like I said, I don't want to step on too many toes. I hope the event's open. Hope the event ends up picking up an extra 5 guys, so you could, so I'd be able to sign up and not like take away from guys that've been in the club
yeah.
um a lot longer than I have. I remember doing one Ben's 23. I took all 3. What do they call it? The trifecta? I don't know. I won it. I had the biggest bass and a pickerel. I remember doing that one time. Forget the name of the lake. I'd have to look it up for you, but it was just one of those one-off tournaments that was available. I'm like, I'm gonna check it out. Some people were working. There wasn't any MAKB tournaments. It was just maybe it was during the year, but I think like they had like EKF and they had all these other tournaments and guys were all over the place and there was nothing set for MAKB that weekend. But I did see, in Fishing Chaos or the app or that you could go and do bends. And I went and checked it out, did it. I remember that day, man. It was so foggy. And I couldn't see nothing. Ended up getting a couple of fish before like the sun broke and got rid of the fog, and I just finished out that win. It was a pretty good day. Wanna say it wasn't Carbon. I don't know. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. I forget where it was exactly.
Yeah, so Ben's has got the 4th. Like April looks like it's kind of not a wash, but you have Ben's on the 4th, the Buffinville, which they could potentially change. And then on the 18th is the NHBASS. It's at Hopkinton. I think that's New Hampshire.
Yep,
And Ben's is also that day, Long Pond, Freetown. So that is down near you. And then that next Saturday, which is the last Saturday in April, that's the first event for BASS, and that's John's Pond. Like I I'm gonna be at the opener for Ben's, just like as a meet and greet, making sure I stay
sure.
connected with those guys. But I'm hoping to enter the John's Pond one. So I texted Matt because he was the first Matt Conant. He was the first person to register for Mass Bass in the state. Like over all of our directors, he was when it went live. He was the first one to sign up, and he said he wanted to do that. And then he goes, I'm looking to break Bruce Levy's record of 102.75 on day one at John's. He goes, that's my goal. I'm like,
That's
I
just
really hope you do it, man. And he
that's
could.
that's a goal.
I went back. He got a 23 on New Year's Eve, like a December 1st event. He got a 23. And 2 years later, he got a 20. Last year when we were there, he got another 20. I mean, he's got the knack for catching big fish there. So I hope he
Yeah,
does it, man. I really do. I
yeah,
really do. We'll see. I'll get him to see if he can spill his secrets tomorrow night. But yeah, and then like Seabax is moving to the first of the season, 1st of May. So it's
yeah.
gonna be kind of a little quiet April, unless you're in a boat because there's a couple other scheduled for boats. But You ever think
Right.
about doing that on a boat side, becoming like the, co-anglers on some pro AMs?
I mean, if someone needed a hand, I wouldn't mind to do it. I think I plan on investing on getting myself a boat as well, but I kind of really want to get a piece of property first, like a vacation home. I don't know if it's going to be most likely up north.
Mm.
I mean, I love New Hampshire, Vermont area, so well, I guess I'm going to get property first, and then I'll get another toy
Yeah,
and
yeah,
keep
yeah.
it there for to do Champlain and all that stuff. Because I mean, I know on a kayak it's cool, but some of those waters are so big that you need a boat. I mean, I remember going down with Nardi to South Carolina. We did a Lake Murray for KBF one year back in, I don't know, 22, 23, and 15-hour haul. Personally, it sucked. But when you got there, it was awesome.
Mm.
But if you actually look at the lake and you're on a yak, man, you're like seeing a branch. Like
Yeah.
we were there for the whole week. I think it was me, Hedges, and Nardi stood at a house that we rented. It was a great time. We got to fish every day, 11, 12 hours a day. We were out there. Then, of course, come tournament time, I stunk or didn't do well.
Mm.
Guys were murdering them on beds. And I don't know. It was just an experience, man. It was an awesome time.
Yeah. Yeah, you think you'll, do any national events this year? Bigger trails,
I
maybe NH or
I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try. Like I said, I wanna see how the work schedule flow goes because I do work. Because some of these tournaments are on Saturdays. I do work Saturdays like every month to give my team that Saturday off. I don't think it's fair for everyone to work a Saturday. But so I do. They do help me out with getting around my fishing schedule. Again, it was weekend easier when it was one thing being MAKB, but now that it's a bunch of groups, I got to take all these bunch of groups. I really got to sit down in front of a calendar, put them all on the calendar, and then determine which days do I do work and work it out with my team from work. So that could only open up what I can actually do. I'm going to try to do as many as I can. I mean, on average, I do 20 to 30 tournaments a year anyway. Like I'm out there. I need to be. I love to be, regardless of where it lands. But I gotta go. Like it's my drug.
yeah, it's tough, life always gets in the way, like, most of us, we
Oh
just
yeah.
wanna fish, but it's like we have to work a 9 to 5 in order to support our fishing habit.
Exactly. I mean, we had when I remember the EKF was out for a couple years and loved that trip that we did in New York. But every time, like I was telling you about my schedule, every time Lake Winnipesaukee came up, I was working that Saturday. Like I never went to the any of the EKF events with when it at the Winnipesaukee was, tournament day. I was kind of pissed. Every year, I like stuck on that Saturday,
Mm.
and I'm like, man. But I needed to give that one up so I could make sure I had all the time to do the MAKBs. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Got any bucket list spots? You got any places that are like, "I have to go here before, like, I'm done fishing."
I want to do the Potomac River. I don't really care about Florida. I don't know. I don't have anything set in mind, but I do want to check out the Potomac River. I think
Yeah.
it's probably one of my river runs next I want to check out. Heard some good stuff. It's definitely warmer weather. It's not that bad of a drive. I think it's like 8 hours.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
little hybrid fishery too, man. These huge catfishes,
yeah,
huge carp, big stripers. I
yeah,
do follow the Bassmaster. I know a lot of those guys go way upstream when they catch those big bags of smallmouth. So it's kinda like,
yeah,
they'd be like almost the same river fishing as us up here, just different waters.
right, right.
I think I fall too much into the Bassmaster hype. Like, I read all the, top 10 lakes, and, like, I just keep seeing, like, a few lakes in the Northeast that are popping up. Like, I've never fished Champlain. Like, I wanna do that, but there's no way I can do it in a kayak with no power. And then,
I took a little trip. Sorry to cut you there.
don't be.
With the friends, but we went to Canada side, and Lake Champlain does tie into this River Royale. I don't remember what it was called,
St.
but we
Lawrence
had
Lake?
it brought up.
Is it the St. Lawrence?
No, I thought so. In Canada, it's considered the River Royale. I think it was called. It just had a weird name. It literally is just a river branch that pours into Lake Champlain. And we did bring our kayaks. Of course, me being more of the fisherman, I remember tying a rope to my wife's kayak and I just pulled her around everywhere while I was fishing because she's just like sunbathing or whatever she's doing. She fished a little bit too, but did all right. I didn't get any smallies. In like the little creeks, I got some regular small largemouth basses and whatnot. But man, you could see though the water's so clear,
Mm,
you could just see the salmon, king salmon. They're just staring at you. They're
mm,
massive, massive fish. But I didn't get any of those. I mean,
yeah.
I'm clearly not fishing for that or whatever they feed on. I didn't have it. It was more of a getaway trip. Probably the first and only vacation I actually took with my wife that I actually got to do fishing. Because when we take vacations, we tend to go overseas, and I'm not fishing. We're just out there to have vacation.
Yeah,
I gotta spend some time with the wife, right?
for sure. Especially when you're doing 30 events. Yes, at least you did it.
She could probably
Um,
hear us quiet.
when you go on these like out of state trips, especially somewhere far, like you just said, Lake Murray, is there a different set of challenges you face over like doing some of these local events?
I mean, it's just not knowing the area, I think, is just the biggest challenge. But again, I do like getting into places I've never been before. But Lake Murray is it's huge. It's not like you're going to a secluded pond. I think it would be a little bit more to my advantage if I was doing a pond or a small lake than that's something that's that big. But I mean, I really don't have challenges. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but I just go out there and fish. I guess the only challenge would be to make sure the battery doesn't die when you're I've done that before.
Mm,
I remember one time I died and I think it was Nate Annan. It was the Freetown Long Pond one. And I didn't realize where I was, man. I was so far north from the ramp and the tournament was over. And it was like the first time I did not have the lifetime battery yet. I think I had a regular car battery, quite honestly.
wow,
And it died on me. And he came by me. He's like, "Hey, man, you want me to hook up? I'll pull you back." And I'm like, "Ah, man, don't worry about it. Dude, I should have took that ride because it took me an hour and 20 minutes to row all the way back. And I think there was 2 people left in the tournament still hanging out there by the time I pulled up. I
crazy.
did play taxi last year, though, in 2025. I helped a few people out, batteries. I pulled Naughty all the way out of the Boston Harbor all the way back. That was an hour and a half ride. I remember that time I was talking about, I came in second place at the Southwood Tupper. Somebody died in an XTR. Had to tow him in. I did play taxi, but it's all in fun, man. As long as
Yeah,
everyone's safe and gets back and everyone had a good time, that's all that matters.
yeah. So Ari was on, and they're sponsored by. It's actually Lee Time. They kept
Oh,
correcting them,
me
and they
time.
kept. So it's
Okay.
like it's so funny because I haven't heard a single person call it the correct name. It's always been Lie Time because that's how we
Yeah.
speak over here. Like when we read it phonetically. So it's Li, which is Lee. But
I wish I could find my receipt because when I bought that battery back in 21, that was not the name of the company, but it is the same exact company.
mm,
They just like switched their name. And it's been a good battery. I can't complain about it, man, at all.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've even took the battery out of my kayak to help a guy jumpstart his Ford Explorer when he was blocking the dock at Tispiquin, man. He shut his truck off and it wouldn't start, and they were just getting out. The boat was on, and I was the last person there. I got out my kayak, and they actually helped me move my kayak into my truck because they blocked the whole ramp. And then I had my truck in front of his truck with jumper cables, and man, that Ford Explorer just wouldn't start. I'm like, this is really odd, man. Like, I don't know. I definitely know you need a battery. So then they had a set of cables. And I'm like, you know something? Let me go get my battery for my kayak. I mean, come on, this thing's got to work, right? And started that truck right up. It was pretty wild. I mean, I've seen some crazy events. I mean, I helped some people that flipped over their kayaks a couple times in Saudi ponds, kids out there without life jackets. It's just the dumbest thing in the world, but I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully they
Safety
learn a
first,
lesson.
guys. Safety first.
Anything else you want to talk about, bud? Anything else you want to bring up? Anything you're looking forward to this year or expectations? Anything?
No, I'm just looking to have a great year. I mean, I can't say it might open up window of opportunity for a lot of people because, with MKB, you had all these, I don't know how big it was, but you had 100 plus people all trying to get in these events. And
Yeah.
being now that they're scattered, like you said earlier, some guys might not be in some events and some guys might not be in the other
Mm,
events. And it just might open up a window opportunity for all anglers to become a little bit better in the standings
mm.
because there are top dogs not around, you know what I mean? Because they're doing something else. So it's going to be an exciting year, a little bit different, obviously. But no, man, my expectation is always to be in the top 5, baby. That's like my goal, and it just starts off with having fun fishing. Really, I plan on doing it, but never know. Could be top dog, could be the worst dog.
Well, I hope to have
You
the
just
winners
never know.
back on this year, and I hope you're sitting in that winner's circle. And John's putting together that GoFundMe for all the trophies, so I'm hoping that first place is going to be sitting on that shelf right behind you very soon.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
our
I did
goal.
talk to John on the side already. I just said when he gets a little closer, I will contribute. I mean, I don't care if he needs $100. I
Yeah.
said, just let me know when you get closer to the end when people are dialed in, and I was just going to send it directly because I do think it's a big deal. He hit it on the spot. I'm not going to repeat it, but I think those guys all deserve
Mm.
to have something to show for. Like I don't have my trophy here, but you can see, as a kid, that over here, like these little trophies, man, like these little league 1989 champion, like these are things. Look, 1984
Yeah.
Pee Wee. I mean, those things are memorabilia, man. Those things,
Needs
like
some
John said,
updated.
kids, friends, just conversational pieces. You can memories. It's really what it all comes down to.
Yeah, the community.
Gotta
Well,
have it.
you are a huge part of my community in this fishing, man. I'm glad we get to
I
spend time together
appreciate it.
on and off the
Me
water.
too.
Yeah, look forward to speaking
Let
with
me
you
know.
this year when you're on the winner's circle.
You got it when I'm on the podium.
Uh-huh.
All
All right, bud. Talk soon. Be
right,
safe. Have a
Jason.
good
Thank
Sunday.
you. Talk to you soon, man. Bye.
Peace out.